Before we start the video, I've been asked a couple times about my take on the Dinosaur Games pitch for Jet Set Radio Evolution, so here's what I think. The lighting's pretty cool. I like the blend of the Jet Set Radio and JSRF art styles. Their grinding animation is pretty nice. The skating animation's kind of janky, and that logo is interesting. On to the video. As some of you know, I've made a couple of videos on Jet Set Radio already, but I've always wanted to kind of cover this topic, so today we'll be diving into the secrets and glitches of Jet Set Radio Future. It's a sequel to the Dreamcast cult classic, Jet Set Radio. You're a group of rebellious teenagers fighting against the man, and you use your talents on rollerblades to stop evil. Since Jet Set Radio Future is an early open-world adventure game, there's lots of secrets to find. And although it controls better than its predecessor, there's still an abundance of glitches. So to preface, there are some glitches that are almost impossible to replicate, so I'll address those at the end of the glitches section. We'll also be using the Jet Set Radio Future mod tool made by Neodos, who was honestly a tremendous help in answering a bunch of technical questions. With the mod tool, he's made it possible to view textures and models in their original resolution, which is really helpful. Neodos also runs the JSRF Inside blog, which has more details on various aspects of the game files. So make sure to visit there too. Anyway, let's get started. The first of our glitches takes place in the best hangout spot in any SEGA game, the GG's Garage. Go up to the basketball hoop and make sure your camera is facing the support pole. Turn your character around and jump while pushing forward. This may take some time, but if you do it right, you'll be able to explore out of bounds around the garage. You can jump into the various level portals, the exception being 99th Street because of its raised platform. It's pretty cool to explore out of bounds in the original game, rather than having to rely on a fan remake. Also, I managed to glitch out the game to actually view the skyline texture. The specifics of this glitch aren't totally deciphered, but what I could gather from Neodos, the shape of the basketball hoop affects the collision mesh of the object. Normally, the collision mesh would push the character down, almost like hitting a support beam. However, since you're hitting the hoop from behind, the collision mesh pushes with greater force due to the odd shape of the model, and pushes the character model a specific distance away. Hence why sometimes you may land inside the garage, outside the garage, or get a weird angle and respawn. Some areas of Jet Set Radio Future look like they'd be fun to explore, but are inaccessible for a variety of reasons, also mostly because they don't want you to try and break the game. Luckily, with a few well-timed jumps and some help from solid objects, we can access a few of these areas. The first area we're going to cover is the Skyscraper District. Head towards the area to the right of Faro Park and make your way to the save area. Collect some cans and land near this water tower, and you should see the skyscraper in front of a highway portion. Boost, dash, and land onto this section of the tower since it's solid, and if it's done right, you should have enough momentum to land onto the highway. What's interesting is that the rails here don't actually work because it's actually the portal to Sky Dinosaurian Square. But if you look off the edge, you can see another section of rails. If you boost, dash, and jump, you'll make it to this area past the portal of Highway 0. Exploiting both areas may cause some weird glitches with the camera, and if you're not careful, you'll fall off. But speaking of Highway 0, there's also an out-of-bounds glitch here. Skate to the Night Market District, then grind up the power lines and jump to the left side building that has a few spray cans. Make sure to collect at least 20 for this glitch. Facing towards the way you came, boost, dash, and jump to land onto the adjacent building. Go into the inner corner of this section, turn your character around, and realign the camera. Build a little momentum skating, and boost dash a little before you jump to the glitchy building. As you're flying in the air, try to angle towards the inner edge, since the distance is somewhat hard to gauge. If you do it right though, you'll land inside the building and onto a solid ground edge. You can explore around a bit, but the respawn area is very close, so be careful. Arguably one of the most famous glitches in Jet Set Radio history, the Rokkaku Expo glitch requires some timing and precision. When you enter the stadium, grind through the track as if you were racing. When you reach the first quarter pipe, try to trick off the upper edge, but only do one air trick. Any more, the glitch will not work. If you do it properly and angle the skates towards the outside, the character model will land between the two fence partitions and be able to explore outside the racetrack. It may be that there's an actual gap between the fences, and the animation going between the jump and land actually exploits that gap. From what Neodos has gathered, the collision models in Jet Set Radio Future are actually one-sided flat planes. In normal gameplay, you would collide with the front side, but when you trick up the ramp, you land on the back side and the collision mesh pushes the model out of bounds. The sewer skip glitch is the most well-known glitch in Jet Set Radio Future speedrunning, and it's quite simple. Collect enough cans of Rokkaku dye to boost dash, and jump into the half pipe when you first enter the sewage facility. Do the jump sequence with Garum, then grind up the girder near him. Boost dash halfway up, and then once you're facing him, jump off. If you've timed it right, you should be able to skip the entire sewage facility and just move right to the bottom point race. There's also the Gatescape glitch in Rokkaku Heights, which allows you to go past this blocked off warehouse without triggering an in-game event. You'll want to land on these buildings to the left, then jump your way through. You'll see this sort of like giant divide, and if you can manage to boost dash through and hit the corner, you'll actually glitch out of bounds. And if you can angle yourself just enough to land on this platform, you'll be able to skate around, fall, and respawn on the other side to bypass the warehouse event. If you're looking for some different kinds of glitches, especially in multiplayer mode, I'd recommend checking out some videos from KeybadeBlox. He's managed to crash the game on a few different occasions, and it's actually pretty interesting to see. I'll leave a couple links in the description. Jet Set Radio Future has a lot of secrets and Easter eggs we may or may not have seen. Other times there may be rumors spread around that no one can really answer or confirm. Luckily, thanks to Neodos and the mod tool, we can actually comb through a disk image of Jet Set Radio Future and examine textures and models. The secrets we'll be covering range from in-game designs, to fan theories, to actual locations in the game. One interesting thing to note, I'm using a disk image of the NTSC version, and it has graphics from each language, regardless of the region. Looking at this image of the garage menu graphics, we can see text for various options, including practice. I think they meant to say practice, but this is what they actually called it in the multiplayer section. There's also text that reads editor, which isn't used in the graffiti editor menu at all. Perhaps there was supposed to be some kind of level editor? Who knows? In the game files, there's actually a design for a green spray can. Unfortunately, it's only a placeholder object and doesn't add more cans to your inventory. It is a neat little Easter egg though. There's also these cool designs in the billboard textures, and from what Neodos told me, they're actual band posters from Japan, or at least some kind of inspiration. A few objects in the garage that always kind of piqued my interest were the punching bag and the pinball machine. The textures can be found in the game files, and the pinball machine is actually quite detailed. It's got a custom logo that says DJ Ball, and the side panel features some logos from various enemies in the game. For some reason though, they flipped the side panel image on one side of the machine. Kind of weird. I think they might have just pasted Rokkaku's face on the punching bag though. The next secret is an actual location in the game, and it's honestly just kind of funny to see. I'm just not sure if I'm really the best person to be talking about
cats?
Yeah, actually this next secret involves cats. Wait, is that you, Alexa?
Duh, of course it is, dummy. How are you gonna make a Jet Set Radio video without...
Oh, the one and only Alexa Cat YT?
Yes.
Yeah, alright. You're probably the best person to talk about cats.
Thanks, False. So the next secret is one that's very close to me, and that's the cat room in KeybadeBlox Hill. It's right at the beginning of the level. Once you leave the sewage facility, grind up the stairs, and then stay to the right of the rooftops. You should see a gap with a ladder near the right power line. Jump down, and you'll find a room full of cats. They don't really make any sounds or do anything interesting in general, but they're just so adorable. I probably wouldn't go in as Potts, though. It's a little weird to be the only dog in a room full of cats.
You know what? It's kind of funny to actually look at the cat textures in the game files.
False, don't do anything stupid.
Honestly, if I had the time, I'd just make one look like the cat from Sailor Moon.
She has a name, False. It's Luna, okay? But yes, I approve.
Alright, bud. I think that's all I need. Thanks for coming on, Alexa.
You're welcome. And hey, if you guys want to see actual quality Jet Set Radio videos, head on down to my channel, Alexa.
And that's the end of that nonsense. Did you know that Jet Set Radio Feature's max video output is actually 480p? It still looks good, but that's the maximum resolution of the game. Now, the Xbox 360 version is a rescaled widescreen version of this, so it does look better through native HDMI pass-through, but the various slowdowns and bugs from emulation still make the original Xbox the better console to play the game. Moving right along, but one area that's always intrigued me is DJK's room. Using the mod tool, we can actually take a look at the various textures in the room. DJK actually has a synth and a microphone, which you can see inside the cutscene, as well as a DJ mixer and turntable. For some reason, the record on the turntable actually features the SmileBit website. Were they really waiting this long for us to make a mod tool so they could advertise? Our last topic will cover fan theories and their validity. You know what? Let's just call this section Jet Set Radio Mythbusters, because why the hell not? Our first topic today, the legend of SEGA. SEGA has been one of the longest standing rumors in the Jet Set Radio fandom, and has been a topic of debate regarding its actual existence. According to various sources, you must collect 32 spray cans, grind up the dinosaur in Chuo Street, jump off, and if you do it properly, you should see SEGA. So we tried this and nothing happened. There's also been rumors that you can play as a cop if you race around the garage 6 times, then drop back into the back half pipe. We tried that. That also didn't work. People have also said you can play as Hayashi, DJ Professor K, a character known as It. All of these can be debunked with the mod tool. If we go into the player section of the game files, the only data contained is for all the playable characters in the story and the jet ranking unlockable characters. Therefore, unless you can mod it in somehow, there's no feasible way to play as any of the rumored characters. Myth busted. The final thing we need to talk about is this object known as the Doomsday device. Now, there's 2 Doomsday devices in the game. There's one in Rokkaku Heights and one in KeybadeBlox Hill. If you go in during a test run and make sure you're there when the clock hits 2 minutes, the thing moves. I don't know why, I don't know how. It's been a big rumor ever since someone actually posted it in a Jet Set Radio Future walkthrough on IGN. They talked a little bit about the Doomsday device, but they actually couldn't figure it out. The JSRF speedrunners tried deciphering it a while ago. They tried to play around some event files, but they still couldn't really find anything. So, is this a myth? Or is this something more? It's an interesting piece of Jet Set Radio history, but no one's been able to crack the case. So, I'm coming to you for help. Download the mod tool, try and figure out what the heck is going on, play around in the game, figure out some kind of weird thing with the Doomsday device. This one is not myth busted, it's just more of a mystery. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I hope you liked this nice little feature on secrets and glitches in Jet Set Radio Future. I want to thank Alexa Cat for coming on again. Did a good job on that good old voiceover. I really want to give a big thank you to Neodos for helping me out, answering all the really weird questions I had for him. If you want to see some more Jet Set Radio videos, I'll leave them all linked in the description, so have some fun watching them. But that's it for me for now. I'm FalseProof, and I'll see you next time.